All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at a wildly popular, incredibly dense, and just fiercely biting piece of social commentary about civic sense in India. And you know what makes this piece so absolutely compelling isn't just what the creator says, it's how they say it. It's a literal masterclass in aggressive satire. So we're going to break this whole thing down layer by layer to see exactly how they pull off this brilliant critique.
Okay, setting the stage with Section 1, Civic Sense Pratika Vyang, or a sarcastic hook. Right out of the gate, the creator sets a classic satirical trap. They kick things off with what sounds like super high praise. With this completely deadpan delivery, they claim that civic sense is just filled to the brim in the people of India. Now, if you're just casually listening, you'd probably think, oh, okay, we're getting a nice patriotic celebration of community values here. But wait, that clinical objective tone? Total setup. It primes us for a massive subversion of expectations that drops literally in the very next breath. To really get the genius of this critique, we gotta look at the wordplay. It's so clever. The creator points out how people mistake a ministry, a seat of government and order, for a urinal. In Hindi, the words are mantralaya and mutralaya. That phonetic similarity, it makes the joke land incredibly hard, really spotlighting this profound disrespect for public property. And then they pivot to personal boundaries. They claim people treat foreign girls like their own wife, completely obliterating the lines of personal space and respect. It's this dark, absurd reality, but they present it like it's just an everyday, normal fact. Wild, right? And honestly, the dark humor peaks right here. After rattling off these boundary-breaking, super offensive behaviors like treating government buildings as toilets and harassing tourists, the creator just casually circles back to their opening premise. They ironically declare that these exact behaviors are what makes the country great. I mean, the sarcasm is razor sharp. By equating these societal failures with national greatness, they're forcing us to look at how we've normalized these daily incivilities. It's a wildly uncomfortable joke, but honestly, that's exactly where its power comes from. Moving on to Section 2, Asli Civic Sense ki Paribhasha, which gives us the textbook meaning.
So right at the absolute height of this dark satire, the creator pulls a total 180. They completely drop the sarcasm and hit us with the literal, actual definition of civic sense. They outline the foundational pillars of a functioning society, and by doing this, they create this glaring, bright backdrop that makes those earlier jokes look even more devastating by contrast. Let's look at the specifics of what they lay out. The creator systematically walks us through these 4 core duties. First up, keeping things clean, which, directly calls back to that joke about defacing public ministries. Second, maintaining public decorum, basically knowing how to act in shared spaces. Third is following the rules, the fundamental social contract. And fourth, not entering private spaces, which is a direct callback to that highly uncomfortable joke about crossing boundaries with foreign visitors. They're making absolutely sure we grasp these idealized societal expectations, essentially painting a picture of a perfect, respectful community.
Which brings us to Section 3. Samaj ki kadvi sachai. This is the aggressive reality check.
Because, of course, that idealized picture, it wasn't meant to last. In one sweeping, definitive statement, the creator shatters that whole educational vibe. They bluntly state that for the average citizen, these concepts, cleanliness, decorum, respect, they're all just seen as useless or flat-out garbage. It is a moment of pure, unvarnished cynicism. They're essentially arguing that the textbook definition of civic sense, it just doesn't compute in the actual everyday culture. And that brings us to the most shocking part of the whole thing. Right after that dismissal, the creator just descends into this absolute barrage of extreme, street-level profanity and aggressive demands to speak. So why do this? It's actually a fascinating rhetorical trick. They completely drop the intellectual analysis and actively mirror the exact lack of civic sense they just spent the whole time critiquing. By screaming profanities at the listener, the creator becomes a mirror. They are literally demonstrating the very behaviors they're calling out. It's a brilliant, if intense move.
And really, that leaves us with a final, vital question to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. The creator holds up this wildly harsh, uncomfortable, and frankly profane mirror to society. But is this actually an effective way to spark real change? Does aggressive, dark satire like this force people to reflect on their own behavior? Or does it just make them defensive? The source doesn't hand us a neat little solution. It just diagnoses the problem in the most abrasive way possible. It's a pretty compelling reminder of how powerful and how challenging raw social commentary can be. So what do you think? I'll leave you to ponder that one.